Welcome, welcome back everybody to your round two for this evening. My name is Bio. I'm joined here by Imat, and we are going to be casting this round two set between Ultra Sin and Captain Happy Crew.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be a fine matchup here. I recognize several of the names, and I think Ultra Sin, in fact, is going to be a pickup crew. Possibly Captain Happy Crew as well, but again, it's just a lot of familiar names, so I'm looking forward to seeing what these teams bring out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've seen Captain Happy Crew in some Dapple Production tournaments in the past. They are definitely a team to be reckoned with. They got some pretty good results, and they've got some pretty high standings under their belt. So this is definitely a team that Ultra Sin is gonna have to worry about.
Absolutely, and going on to Zone's Mako first match as well. You know, this is definitely the one that teams look forward to. It's a nice balanced map, so we'll have to see what these teams decide to bring out. I know one of the most common picks is, once again, the Splash Crab. Get up on one of those stacks with that thing, and you can put so much pressure on the other team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Splatoon on MakoMart is thanks to its very low amount of verticality and the fact that the map is kind of very horizontal. It does give some specials, like you mentioned, Crab, a lot of free reign, since it doesn't have to worry about pesky elevation like it would on Flounder Heights, for example. And so we might see that. So we might see some splashes, we might see some dualies on this map, but also some other meta picks. And actually, in fact, we're seeing Ultra Sin come out with the classic double splash, one crab and one tri-strike, while Captain Happy Crew looked to come out with Captain Happy Crew came with double splash, while Ultra Sin came out with an E-liter brush composition. Definitely two very contrasting play styles, so we're gonna see how it turns up working here.
That's definitely an interesting pick. You know what, that's funny, like, I've seen Brush used quite a bit on this map. Like, it's not something I ever expect to see, but somehow people like to make it work. But of course, we do see the Brush and the E-liter. In fact, now the Splash as well, just all of Ultra Sin just getting shut down, and with the strikes coming at Captain Happy Crew is getting set up for a nice push. We already see the one member up in that left corner. You know, that's a huge position to be taken up, because like, it completely limits where you can get in from your base.
Yeah, definitely. Ultra Sin need to be really careful. They're getting locked out by Captain Happy Crew very, very well. Even though both teams are even in terms of numbers, trades are always going to favor the defending team, which in this case is Captain Happy Crew. They're just content playing very slowly here, not going for any trades, and actually they managed to catch the brush on the side of Ultra Sin overextending. That's a huge stagger, and Captain Happy Crew, really all they have to do is paint now. They're in prime knockout position, but the pick from the E-liter might come up big, and it does, as the junior comes in and flips the zone, giving Captain Happy Crew a penalty of 72. Now, it is only the E-liter alive, and Captain Happy Crew will set up another defense, but it was just enough to give Ultra Sin a little bit more time to get back in the game.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes the most effective way to paint the zone is with the ink of your enemies, but you know, that was going to be the 52 going down for Captain Happy Crew, but they're still sitting rather pretty here with the splash set up on that stack there. They're getting in a good position to really crab out, as we were mentioning before, but they're going to have to contend with Stormy's crab here, trying to find another pick, because those penalty points are ticking down, and they are able to get that zone back.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know, Ultra Sin, they're doing a good job of pushing with their specials, but I don't know, they're just getting punished really quickly by Captain Happy Crew. But they don't see Stormy here in this court. Never mind, they do. They get picked off really quickly by the 10 Texas splatter shot on the side of Captain Happy Crew. And I mean, they're doing a great job, but Ultra Sin just managing to hold on with the stray picks like we're seeing from this leader, that managed to open up just enough space for them to flip the zone yet again, putting up even more penalty points on the side of Captain Happy Crew.
Honestly, they've been kind of struggling to get back in and stay in, but the fact that they're able to get in without really using too many specials really leaves them with a lot of resources for defense. You know, and that's going to be another 2 down off of Captain Happy Crew, and with the E-liter setup, you know, with the crab on top. I was going to say, like, it's not a crab, but, you know, they got a crab nonetheless, and that's going to be another 2 down. They're starting to stagger Captain Happy Crew out, and it's going to really put Ultra Sin in a good position to really get points on the board.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. Now we're seeing the tables get flipped on Captain Happy Crew as they are the ones scrambling to make an opening. They need to make sparks fly with this crab tank, but the snipe from the bomb from the junior on the side of Ultra Sin is going to shut that down. It is 2 down the side of Captain Happy Crew. They need to move in with these strikes, but it might just not be enough. They're going to get outpainted. That's a pick. That's lead. They just need to paint. Come on, Ultra Sin. Just paint. Just paint. It's only 4 points remaining. It's a splash. It's a 1v2. It's not going to be enough. A Captain Happy Crew is going to be able to take back the zone, but the damage has been done. They lost their lead. They are still in the game, but it's going to be, the pressure is on them now to get a good hold and ideally move this towards a knockout position.
Yeah, we saw, like, that was a nice play. They were able to get in and stop the zone from KOing, but the fact that they went into a 3v1 and weren't able to take down the Splash, so the Splash was still able to set up for their team, and now Ultra Sin back in control and putting even more penalty points onto Captain Happy Crew, and with their Splash down, they're going to have to be forced to back up here, and that's going to just give even more leverage for Ultra Sin as they're setting up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, this is where Ultra Sin honestly shines. With that leader, they're going to be able to control a lot of space very passively, which is really useful when you're defending the zone. It's only 40 seconds left, but that's 2 down on the side of Captain Happy Crew. This is looking like a clean repeat of what we saw when Ultra Sin got the lead. It's only a few penalty points remaining. Stormer's going to camp this jump, put Captain Happy Crew in yet another man disadvantage. And with only 2 points left on the penalty, all they have to do is paint, and Ultra Sin, after getting pummeled by Captain Happy Crew for the first half of the match, managed to flip it around and get the knockout, putting them on the board 1-0.
Yeah, they definitely had a slow start going into that match, but then, like, once they were starting to build up steam, like, their cup was definitely centered around more of, like, trying to get those picks rather than, like, just overall special pressure. And once they're able to get those picks, that's just when it swept in their favor. And even with the ink strikes and such coming out from Captain Happy Crew, E-Leader just was able to shut down several members while they're in the midst of their special. And then the brush coming in to clean up, yeah, they just got control of the zone and just kept it the whole rest of the match.
Oh no, yeah, for sure, and that was what I was talking about. You know, once Ultra Sin managed to get in a defensive position and put Captain Happy Crew on the back foot, that's where they had the advantage with their specials, with that leader that could just control space so well and not let Captain Happy Crew get an inch on the zone. And that's actually the playstyle that we saw Ultra Sin adopt towards the latter half of the match. They, although they were technically losing zone, they weren't really losing team fights. It was the flow was always in favor of Ultra Sin. Captain Happy Crew never actually got wipeouts on Ultra Sin. They were never able to get full team wipes. All they were able to do was just flip the zone and stall it out a little bit. But eventually Ultra Sin kept coming back and kept the pressure on Captain Happy Crew. And that was just what eventually had Captain Happy Crew crack, and Ultra Sin got the knockout, as we saw.
Indeed. And I think, yeah, again, just Captain Happy Crew's early aggression, I think Ultra Sin wasn't quite prepared for it, but then, like, once they got a handle on it, they were able to push them out. But, you know, we were talking about Flounder before and verticality, now we're going to be going to Flounder Rainmaker. I would be a little bit worried, except for the fact that it's Rainmaker, so, like, you don't really get to utilize that high ground quite as much as you would if it were, like, TC or zones.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Rainmaker on Flounder is definitely going to be a different playstyle. Like you said, it's a lot more volatile than zones, that's for sure. And especially on a map like Flounder Heights, where it's just it has so many approach options and it has so much freedom of movement. We're going to see both teams really be able to express themselves in the way that they move the Rainmaker and take their team fights. And we're actually seeing some comp changes built around enabling that. Both teams coming out with some variant of the Tri-Slosher, while Ultra Sin comes out with the Nautilus. Not a weapon you see a lot nowadays, mostly due to its kit, but some dedicated players have shown that it can work well with the correct team composition.
No, indeed. I think, like, this is a really niche pick for it to work well, because, you know, with the amount of walls and such the enemy team can come up and flank you from, having the point sensor to call people out can really come in handy. And again, with just the narrow surfaces that you have to push forward, the rain can just put a lot of pressure. But speaking of pressure, Ink strikes, and then just the 2 down. Ultra Sin is going to be able to pick up this Rainmaker and possibly get that first checkpoint right off the bat.
Yeah, but that Booyah Bomb is going to take so much space. Ultra Sin, oh no, they don't quite get the Rainmaker. They get stopped by the Tri-Slosher. But that is still a lot of pressure put on Captain Happy Crew. They are forced to use some of their specials, and they're going to try to push him with this Tacticooler, but they're playing very slowly. They need to push with this Tacticooler, get some picks, get some trades before the effect runs out, which we are seeing happen. Ultra Sin just playing it cool. They do lose their Nautilus, but all they have to do is just stall and get some picks, and those bombs are going to be the MVP right now. Getting the pick on the Tri-Slosher, on the machine. And I don't know, Captain Happy Crew are really struggling to get a defined presence in mid and get a push set up.
And yeah, they're able to get a couple of picks off of Ultra Sin, but as you said, like, they're not really able to get a whole lot of presence on top of that. But perhaps that's going to change now. They're trying to get towards that first checkpoint, and they are going to be able to get it. But like, Ultra Sin's got some specials online, and they're already starting to push back out. We'll have to see if they're able to get the picks to stop this push before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, for sure. The 52 managed to get a pick on the splash, but that's 2 on the side of Captain Happy Crew. I believe that's going to be the end of their push as Ultra Sin collapse on them from all sides. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that push. They just got basically full wiped, only for a push of 59. I'm not sure I like that, but just as I say that, by my tongue, Captain Happy Crew come back in numbers, getting a pick and getting the Rainmaker yet again, putting a lot of pain on the ground and putting the pressure on Ultra Sin to be able to stop that push. Nautilus going for a Hail Mary play, doesn't quite get the Rainmaker. That's a wipeout, actually. This may just be knockout for Captain Happy Crew, and it is. And what? Just as all hope seemed lost, as Ultra Sin shut down Captain Happy Crew's push, they came back strong with an explosive breakaway, just spearheading the way all the way to the goal with those double wipeouts. So congrats to Captain Happy Crew for flipping it around.
Yeah, that was impressive. Like, I thought for sure that was going to be the end of that push. We saw the 3 members of Captain Happy Crew go down, and Ultra Sin was already starting to clean up and get a lot of paint in mid, but somehow I didn't see what happened, but somehow that one remaining player was able to stay alive enough to get their jumps in, and then they just completely turned it around before the Rainmaker could reset, so they were able to just continue off of what they had going in that last match. And then, as we saw, the dominoes started falling with the picks going down. They got the complete wipeout just in time to get that KO.
No, yeah, for sure. Captain Happy Crew just managed to just hold on and, like you said, get those jumps in, which took Ultra Sin by surprise and put them off balance for the remainder of the match. But yeah, this is now going to be our game 3. This is going to be what decides the set. Going to Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy. This is a staple in competitive play. It is admired for being a pretty well-rounded, comfortable map for most teams to play on. So this is definitely something that we may see both teams be really comfortable on and go and feel very good with maybe flexing to different options. So based on what we've been seeing, what do you think we might see in terms of compositions here, Imad?
That's going to be a tough call, because we did see like the double splash and Nautilus coming out from Ultra Sin in that last one, but they did play with like the brush E-lead in the first one, so like either combination of these two comps could work, or they could just bring out something totally different. You know, as for Captain Happy Crew, I imagine they're going to be doing something pretty similar, possibly even sticking with the bucket comp that they had in that second one. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. As you said, Ultra Sin has proven to be very, very flexible, pulling off a lot of different options, such as brush and Tri-Slosher. So I wouldn't put it past them to bring up some weird picks here in Inkblot. While Captain Happy Crew is kind of the complete opposite. They were just comfortable sticking with what they know, that 52, those splashes, that T-Tech, stuff like that. But regardless, I am correct in Captain Happy coming out with a rapid blaster deco, and Ultra Sin coming out with an Octobrush. These two are weapons you do not see every day.
Yeah, that is very interesting indeed. You know, we did see the vanilla brush in that first match, so I think the octa brush having a little bit more range and a little bit more damage can help a bit more with the tower control, especially since there's not quite as much tight spaces as there is on MakoMart, so having the little extra range can help a lot, and it's certainly putting it to good use. You're getting the first pick of the match and opening up that left side where the tower wants to go, but it does have to contend with the Rapid, which I think is a interesting pick, but probably a good one for tower control, because it just, the chip damage and the Inkjet can really just start opening up pushes.
Yeah, for sure, but yeah, and we're actually seeing it happen as it pushes up with the 52 here. The Whale already getting set up on Ultra Sin's bats, and that's going to put them in a really disadvantageous position. They're not going to be able to contest the tower push from Captain Happy Crew as they move into the second checkpoint, already looking into a good position to knock that one out, and the momentum is just steamrolling. Ultra Sin struggling to keep up with Captain Happy Crew's raw aggression. Stormy trying to hang on for dear life, and they get the crucial pick on the 52, and this is going to be the end of Captain Happy Crew's push at 27 remaining. It is a pretty strong push, but it's definitely winnable for Ultra Sin. If they can just get a good opening and get their specials together, like we saw Captain Happy Crew do, they can definitely bring this back.
No, absolutely. Like, that's one of the things you gotta watch out for this map. You know, taking control of that left side of the bats area just really opens up to a pretty steady snowball if you play your cards right. And we saw that the Ultra was trying to do that early in the match, but Captain Happy Crew just kind of beat them to the punch. So we'll have to see if Ultra Sin is able to do that in return. We do see a nice double right there, and the brush is putting on so much havoc underneath their ledge there. And with the Junior and the brush be able to push up, they're probably going to be able to get this ball rolling, but that is going to be the brush going down here.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're seeing the push be very, very scrappy on the side of Ultra Sin. They are getting the picks that they need, and they did manage to push the tower all the way to 49, but it wasn't as clean as Captain Happy Crew's. A lot of them went down, and some of their specials were not that effective, which is what we saw with the Zipcaster from the brush, for example. So I'm not sure if that was the correct play, and the brush goes down here. That's already going to be a clear loss of the neutral game for Ultra Sin as Captain Happy Crew start looking to push very aggressively once again.
Yeah, the brush by plays tends to be a very good poking tool, very chaos bringer, just trying to get up in the face of the enemy and utilize their short range damage. But when you're running like a Junior backline comp, is that's half of your front line going down with that brush. So and we did see the Junior getting quite aggressive with the brush, going full battle Junior, but even so, you can't really afford to make as many mistakes when you're running a support backline comp like you are here, but they're definitely making it work as we see two members of Captain Happy Crew go down, make that 3 with just a splash remaining. There's going to be another chance for Ultra Sin to get a stab at that checkpoint.
No, yeah, definitely. We're seeing this brush push up really, really aggressively. Gets a pick on the 52. That's crucial. And pushing up with the tri-strikes into their bats. That's a pick on the Rapid. This might be what Ultra Sin was looking for. Captain Happy Crew reeling from this sudden burst of aggression. Brush taking advantage, pushing up with the Zipcaster. They do, and they get a trade. It is still numbers advantage for Captain Happy Crew. For Ultra Sin. They get the lead. This is now knockout position. It is only the Rapid left on Captain Happy Crew. They're going to have to deal with the bubble on tower. It's not enough. 4, 3, 2, 1. And if they can just get on the tower, yes, they do. Ultra Sin managing to get an inch. They take it a mile, and they pull off that comeback knockout.
Yeah, once the Junior set up on that last checkpoint with the bubbler, there's just pretty much a free checkpoint, and then just the nice plays by the brush, being able to really get they got the pick off the bats. I was talking about earlier, just getting control of bats in the early part of that push can help get the momentum moving, but then being able to push up past that with the Zipcaster, even though it did end in a trade, at that point that's what they needed, just to stop or slow down the pressure going to the tower, and so they were able to get as far as they did by getting that trade.
No, yeah, for sure. And yeah, Ultra Sin just managed to be patient and just wait for a prime opportunity to push with all the special, and that's what we saw. Captain Happy Crew made a few mistakes, went 2 down, went 3 down, and the brush immediately took such a forward position that Captain Happy Crew just struggled to get back into a position where they could actually defend and shoot at the tower from, which gave Ultra Sin the game. They win this best of 3, and moving them further along in the bracket while sending Captain Happy Crew to the depths of losers bracket. Definitely a very, very close set.
No, it was definitely very close. You know, just the like Ultras or Captain Happy taking that second match with a KO. You know, that was I was still impressed that they were able to come back from a 3 down like that. It's so impressive, but. You know, yeah, as you said, Ultra Sen is going to be taking it on in winner's bracket. But for the time being, we are going to be going to another short break while we prepare for our next round. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Wait, that was doing one singular triple right there, and it's not gonna help them. That's a wipeout, and of course this means Chewit, that rainbow is yours for taking.
They get one of the power clams in. They're gonna try and get that second. They get a second. They get a third in. That is the KO.
3 down as well. Shock Reef are and the double Kraken. Spin it. Spin the Kraken on tower. Get the checkpoint. They don't even need to.
They gotta stay on this. There's people coming from all sides. Who's gonna be able to stay on it? No, Robin Tomodachi is able to get back onto it. Surf's up! It's high time for another Tropical Throwdown. Join us June 10th at 1 PM Eastern for your shot at a chunk of the $200 prize pool. Whether you're a squid or a kid, players of all skill and division are welcome. Take this chance at competing with the best players in competitive Splatoon. In celebration of Pride Month, we will be fundraising for a charitable project during the event. We'll see you on the shores.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!